When I was a child, I used to think our small town was the safest, happiest place in the world. Summers meant chasing fireflies with my cousins. Winters meant hiding under blankets while my grandmother told stories. And spring meant the annual carnival that filled the streets with laughter. Back then, I believed the world was nothing but joy wrapped in the innocence of childhood. But memories, no matter how sweet, sometimes carry shadows you don't notice until you're older. I often say, I love my memories from childhood. But if I'm honest, there's one memory I've spent my entire life trying to forget. The house on Willow Lane. Behind my grandmother's house, across the old railway tracks, there stood a broken-down house on Willow Lane. We kids weren't supposed to go near it. Parents warned us it was dangerous. Floorboards rotted, roof half-collapsed, windows boarded up. But to us it wasn't just a house. It was a mystery. My friends and I made up stories about it. Some said an old woman had gone missing there. Others whispered about strange lights at night, flickering like candles in the windows, even though no one lived inside. I never believed the rumors. To me, it was just an abandoned house, nothing more. But one summer afternoon, curiosity got the better of me. The dare. I was 11, the age when you think bravery is the same as stupidity. My best friend Daniel leaned in and whispered, "Bet you won't go inside the Willow house." Of course, I couldn't back down. My pride wouldn't let me. So while the other kids watched from the tracks, I pushed the creaking gate and stepped into the overgrown yard. The air felt heavier there, like the house itself was holding its breath. The front door was slightly open. I slipped inside. At first, it was just dust and silence. Broken furniture lay scattered, cobwebs thick in the corners. My heart pounded, but I told myself it was fine. Just an empty house. Nothing to fear. Then I heard it. A soft humming. It was faint, like someone humming a lullaby upstairs. I froze. The music box. Every instinct told me to run, but something else, something stronger, pulled me up the stairs. My feet creaked against the old wood as I climbed. At the end of the hallway, a door stood half open. The humming was clearer now, delicate, mechanical. I pushed the door open. Inside, sunlight filtered through broken shutters, falling across a dresser. On top of it sat a small music box, its golden ballerina twirling slowly, humming a tune I almost recognized. I stepped closer. The moment I touched it, the music stopped. And in that silence, I heard breathing. Not mine. From the corner of the room. I turned. But the room was empty. Terrified, I dropped the music box and bolted out of the house, my legs trembling. When I told my friends, Daniel laughed it off, saying I was just trying to scare them. Nobody believed me. Years later, life moved on. I grew up, left town, built a career, tried to bury the memory of the Willow house. But no matter how far I went, I could never shake the image of that music box, the eerie tune, the invisible breathing in the shadows. Years later, when my grandmother passed away, I returned to my hometown for her funeral. After the service, I walked through the old neighborhood. The house on Willow Lane was still there, still broken, but even more decayed. I almost convinced myself it had all been childhood imagination. That's when I saw it. Through the cracked window. The faint glint of something golden. The music box. The return. I don't know what compelled me, but that night I went back. Maybe it was nostalgia. Maybe guilt. Maybe I just wanted to prove to myself that I hadn't been imagining things. I pushed open the same gate, now rusted and nearly falling apart. The air was just as heavy as before. Inside, the house smelled of mildew and rot. My flashlight beam cut across the dusty floorboards as I made my way upstairs. The same door. The same room. And there it was. The music box. Sitting perfectly on the dresser, untouched by time. I hesitated, then wound it. The ballerina twirled. The tune began to play. And just like before, I heard it. Breathing. This time I wasn't alone. The voice. "Why did you come back?" The whisper came from behind me. I spun around, shining the flashlight into the corners of the room. Nothing. "Who's there?" My voice cracked. Silence. Then, from the dresser, the ballerina slowed. The music dragging lower, almost growling. "You shouldn't have touched it." The words weren't spoken aloud. They were inside my head, twisting through the melody. I stumbled back, dropping the flashlight. The beam rolled across the floor, and for a split second I saw them. Footprints. Fresh. Leading straight toward me. The escape. I didn't think. I ran. Down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door. But as I crossed the yard, I heard the music again. Louder this time. Not just inside the house. It was everywhere. Following me. When I finally reached my car, the music stopped. My hands shook as I started the engine and sped away. I promised myself I would never return. The revelation. But here's the thing. When I got back to my grandmother's house that night, something was waiting on the porch. A small box. The same golden ballerina twirled inside, playing that same haunting lullaby. Pinned to it was a note. Written in my grandmother's handwriting. Some memories should stay buried. The ending. I don't know what my grandmother knew. I don't know what that house really is, or why the music box chose me. But I do know this. I used to say I love my memories from childhood. Now I realize some memories aren't meant to be loved. Some are traps, waiting for the right moment to return. And every night since, as I lie in bed, I hear it again. That faint, mechanical lullaby. Growing closer.